Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Abby. I'm actually not a first year law student at the University of Aberdeen anymore. Feels weird saying it, but I've just finished my first year. And yeah, I just thought it would be nice to make like a wee video of like what I learned in first year, what I wish I knew when I started, that kind of vibe. I've known since I was really young I wanted to go to university. I knew what I wanted to study, so I've spent years researching, watching videos, reading stuff. I've got like books on like uni prep. Like I was very keen. I'm not sure if everybody is, but when I've been speaking to my friends, they've told me that they've watched videos like this, like what you should know before studying law. This isn't really going to be that law focused. It's more just what I wish I knew about university in general, because I feel like that would help more people, and I feel like it's all like applicable for any subject. I don't think there's specific things that I would have needed to know about law because you get taught it. But yeah, hopefully you like this. I think I'm going to try to like 10 things maybe. But yeah, my first tip, this seems quite obvious, but prepare for your classes. So whether that's lectures, tutorials, seminars, if you've been told that you could prepare by reading, by looking at questions, reading an article, anything like that, they'll tell you how you should prepare, or if they tell you what the topic of it's going to be, maybe do some reading on that, because you do benefit so much more from the ones you've prepared for. I don't know, I just feel like if they've told us that it's going to be about a certain topic and they tell you to read an article on the topic and I do that, then I feel like I already understand what I'm going into, and I can start to recognise questions about it that I have myself. Like, I don't know, if you read an article and you don't get a bit, then in the class you can know that you need to pick up that bit a little bit better. So yeah, that is my first tip. I feel like it's a little bit obvious, but definitely important. Second, going off of that, speak up in your classes. I feel like we all have this like instinct to be embarrassed, to like speak up, put your hand up, answer the question, especially in first year. Well, my classes in particular, dead silence. People don't want to be the first one to speak, so it is intimidating being the one that puts your hand up and actually speaks. But for me, like, our tutorials were very discussion based and the tutors want you to speak. So I feel like if you do know, obviously don't speak for the sake of speaking, that's not going to benefit anyone, but if you do have something to share or a question, just speak. It's honestly not that embarrassing. Like, I don't judge the person that speaks first. If anything, I feel like, wow, go them. Like, I wish I was doing that. And definitely by the end of this year, I started just speaking, because like, it's not scary or embarrassing. It shows that you've like done the work and that you're like smart. Yeah, I don't get what the whole embarrassment about that is. Also, my third point would probably be take notes in your tutorials. So I feel like everybody knows you have to take notes in lectures. That's like mandatory. You need to do that. But I think some universities call them seminars. Aberdeen is tutorials. They're like these wee like discussion based classes, and they really give you an insight into the topic. And I felt like when it came to assessment time, there was questions that were so similar to things we spoke about in tutorials, and I almost wish I'd taken down more facts, stuff like that, that I wasn't really taking down in the tutorial. So last semester I kind of learned from that, and this semester I took proper tutorial notes, wrote down basically everything they had up on their screen or anything they were saying, just in case it turned out to be helpful. Going off of that, by taking notes, I would say that I took most of my notes by hand this year, and I don't know if that's the most helpful because it takes so much longer to write it down. And some of my friends did digital notes. It was probably kind of like half and half in my group did like written notes or digital notes, and the people that were doing it digitally so much quicker. Some of my friends just kind of like screenshotted the like PowerPoint slides, and then they could like flick through them later and like put them into folders. Another one of my friends like wrote down the same but using like an Apple Pencil, so it was all saved to her iPad. And yeah, like I had folders and stuff, and it was nice to have physical, but is maybe a little bit of a waste of time and a waste of paper. Probably not the best for the environment. So I think that's something I'm gonna learn to next year. I'm gonna try to do digital notes. So yeah, I don't know if that's helpful, but I felt like it was. Okay, and this is quite an obvious one, but I'd say keep up with your lectures and reading. I feel like it's very easy to be like, oh, I'll just do the reading next week, or oh, I'll pick up those lectures next week, but you get more and more all the time, and when it gets to assessment time and you're getting more stuff released and you need to go back and do all the other things you said you can do, you're gonna be really annoyed at yourself. Yeah, definitely like the whole like keep up, not catch up, all that kind of stuff. You've heard it like the whole way through school, but it is important. And I feel like do the reading. Like I didn't think reading was that important. I didn't think it was going to be, but I bought the books and they're so helpful when it comes to exam season. Some of my friends didn't have the books and they got on fine, but I felt like they had to do a lot of extra research. So yeah, I would say definitely do your reading. Lots of the books you can get like electronically as well or in your library. Okay, so this is one that I feel like is really important, is you need to step outside of your comfort zone. We're all so comfortable just like being in our own little bubble, meeting one friend, only speaking to them, going to your classes with that friend, like not really chatting to other people. And I didn't know anyone in my course, I didn't know anyone going to Aberdeen, didn't know anyone in my year, anything like that. I had no clue what I was going into. At the end of the year, I've got a lovely wee group of friends, and yeah, I've met lots of nice people, but that's been because I've had to step out of my comfort zone. You have to speak to people, and the same as like a lot of the time when it came to assessment time, if I had a question about something, I could so easily sit in the library, struggle, spend hours Googling it. But you need to just, if you don't get something, go and speak to your tutor. For all our classes, there's a course coordinator, you get tutors for your tutorials, lecturers. You can email or speak to any of those people, and it's so much more helpful. I spoke to one of my lecturers for maybe like 5-10 minutes, and it did me the world of good. I understood it so much more, and it was really beneficial. And like that was definitely outside of my comfort zone. Like I'm not, I don't know, I feel like I can't decide whether I'm an extroverted introvert or an introverted extrovert, but I don't think I fit into the introvert or extrovert categories. Do you know what I mean? Like perfectly. Like I feel like I'm a little bit both. I can just be a little bit awkward and like not want to do things, but you definitely just have to force yourself to. And definitely like going off of that, I'd also say don't worry about making friends. It's scary. Everybody thinks that they can't make friends, but if you're a nice person, you're gonna attract good people, and if you're actually going out of your way to try and make friends, you will. You do kind of have to put yourself out there, which I wish there was a quick fix. You didn't have to do that, but you do. Yeah, like you have to speak to people and you have to kind of put in like the awkward effort. Like if you meet someone, you have to kind of like add them on stuff and like message them and ask if they want to meet you, stuff like that. It's awkward. I don't like it, but you do just have to do that, unfortunately. But I mean, it's good. Like I'm in first year with lots of lovely friends, and I wouldn't have got that if I hadn't made the effort. And also, like, you're not gonna make all your friends in the first week. Like I've met some friends in the first week of uni, some in the first month, some in the first semester, some in second semester, and I'm sure I'll make more friends in second year, third year, fourth year, and I hope so. Like it's nice to meet new people. You don't need to like cap yourself. And I don't know, I feel like there's almost like this idea that once people have made their friend group, they're not gonna sway. Like I remember going to pick up my student ID and I saw everybody in groups, and I had it in my head, I was like, that's their flatmates. So these people are all friends. They've got their group. They're not going to want to speak to anyone else. And now I see how silly that is because I have a group. And my group is constantly expanding. I'm not bothered about I've already got my friends. Like no one's like that. And if they are, then you don't want to be friends with them anyway. But yeah, I feel like we definitely get way too worried about meeting new people, making friends, because it's a lot easier than you expect. It's like awkward, but after you get past that little awkward, like small talk, don't really know them stage, you're just smooth sailing. Also, I'd say try not to compare your uni experience to either other people or what you expected it to be. I feel like social media is such a big thing, and you see people, I don't know, like on your first night, you could have met nobody, and then you see all your friends have like this great flatmates, flat dinner, flat party. They've made their best friends in the first week, and you could be like, oh my god, I haven't made mine. But the next week, you can meet your group of people and be friends with them for years. And those girls who met each other on the first night won't be friends anymore. Well, hopefully they are, but do you know what I mean? Like, that could be the situation. I feel like everybody only shows their great times, and everybody's uni experience will be different because we're different people. So yeah, try not to compare it too much, and yeah, like what you expected. Like we all have these expectations that we're gonna go meet our best friends, have the best time, get the best grades, everything, and that's sometimes not the most realistic. I would say join a society. That's a good way to make friends as well. I'm in the Law Society. Next year, I really want to join the Dance Society. I think it's just a good way to, one, make friends because they do so many social events. Like, I've met most of my friends at like socials, like for the Law Society. It's also like a good way to do something other than studying, especially if you're doing a course like law or basically any course. Is a law is a big workload, and it's not healthy to spend all your time studying. So I feel like joining a society is a good way to keep you doing other things. I don't know, I'm a big advocate for extracurricular activities. I think they're good for your mental health, and yeah, just good for you. And there's so many, like it doesn't matter if you're not a really sporty person, but there's so many sports ones. We have like horse riding, shinty, it's really cool. And there's like art ones, food ones, there's so many, like basically any interest you could have, there's gonna be a society. So yeah, I really recommend joining one of those, especially if you are worried about making friends and having like a social life. I think that's a good way. I think that is all of my kind of tips, things I wish I knew. I'd say academically, so like keeping your grades up, I'd say most important is to be prepared for your classes, keep up with everything, ask questions if you need help, and yes, speak up because I don't know, if you say something and it's wrong, wouldn't you rather get it wrong in a class than wrong in an essay? That's all I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, I feel like those are my kind of main academic tips. And then socially, I'd say don't worry about making friends, you will. Maybe join a society. And yeah, just don't put too much pressure on yourself. I feel like there's already so much pressure to be keeping up with uni. Like, uni is a lot, especially since it's very self sufficient. So you already have that pressure to keep going to your classes, doing that. Don't put extra pressure on yourself. I don't know, just go with it and just be as kind and friendly as you can be. But yeah, if you are going to uni this year, I'm very excited for you. I love uni. I think it's fun. I think it's great. I'm sure you'll have a lovely time and be absolutely fine. So yeah, don't worry about it. I think that's the main thing, is like try not to worry too much about things, because worrying is the biggest waste of time. Wow, she really went in there and said it. But yeah, it's definitely like an experience to be excited about, not scared about. But if you do have any other questions, you can always comment. I feel like I'm happy to answer anything. I've obviously done a year, so hopefully I know some things. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you did, I hope this is helpful in any way, shape or form. I don't know, I feel like I really liked watching these. Hope I can pass along some helpful tips too. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.